So every time we look at a shape, the first thing we want to do is figure out how many surfaces does it have. So this is a rectangular prism, right? The base is a rectangle, the top is a rectangle, and it's connected by rectangles as well. And so that means it has a front and a back. It has sides and it has a top and bottom, right? A box has 6 surfaces. So how many faces is this one going to have? Well, it's going to have 6 pieces I need to unfold and find. Now, one thing I do notice is that this front and this back are going to be the same. Now, on your worksheets, if you need to get colors to highlight and say like this and this are the same, do that, because sometimes, right, this can just look like a big mess of lines. So saying this is the front and tracing this is the back can help our brains visualize what is happening. So now we're going to draw out each of the pieces and label their measurements. So let's start with the front piece here. So I'm going to grab a color and I'm going to trace this front, and right, that front is going to match the back. So I'm going to draw this here, and it's right, they don't need to be perfect. I just need the idea. This is a rectangle. So the base of this rectangle is 5 feet and the height, right? Okay, so right, I can see this 2. What does this 2 mean? Well, this 2 is going back here. It has nothing to do with this. I need to go up. So the line going up is 3. So this rectangle is 3 by 5, right? And I'm going to have 2 of those. I've got a front and a back. And if you can't remember that, then you need to draw the front and the back. Draw the front and the back. So I can remember, right? Then there's also going to be this back here. So I can just say I have 2 of those. So after I find 1, I've got 2. So base times height, length times width is 15. But I have 2 of those, right? This is just the front. I also need the back. So together I have 30. So I like to circle each of the parts of my answer so I don't have to go back and find them later. So I circle this one so I can just look for each of my circles to add together at the end. Okay, so now we have our sides. So it is these smaller pieces here, and they are the same. So again, we do have 2 of those. So I'm going to draw it out. So it goes back 2 and up 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So that's for this side, but I also have this side. So that's going to make 12. So there's my sides. Now I need my top and my bottom, right? So every line has now been traced 2 times, right? Everything has been touched 2 times because each of them connect in 2 places. So it also looks like this. So it goes across, right, which is 5. Sorry, there's little children running around. And then it goes back, right here. Back is 2. And I have the top and the bottom, so I'll need to times that by 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. I have 2 of those is 20. Now I'm going to put them all back together. So I have my top, or my front and back, my sides, my top and bottom, adding these all up, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they measured these in feet squared. So even though this is a 3D shape, every time we found an area, we only use 2 dimensions, length and width. Length and width, length and width is still, right? We unfolded it flat, and now it's 2-dimensional. We're finding how many flat squares fit on the flat shape. So even though it can fold up, we can unfold it. We're finding just a flat surface of it. So this is what I mean by draw a net. So I didn't say that, right? So if I was drawing the actual net of it, it would look something more like this. I would have my 4 rectangles and then the 2 on the side. That's just harder for me to label what each piece is. So if I can break it up and say, here's the front and the back, sides, the top and the bottom, just makes it a little bit easier for me to break apart and do piece by piece. So that is what I'm expecting to see every time. I am expecting to see your net. Whether you do it like this or like this, I expect to see your net. You will not get it right without your net. All right. Okay. So make sure you have followed along with me, and I'll just come and maybe highlight my final answer. And I should know it's your final answer because now it's right. It's got the final label. Everything is finished on it. Where these other ones, I was just getting my pieces. I didn't have them labeled all the way. So that is a rectangular prism. Same thing works for a cube or anything with 6 rectangles. It should have 6 sides, 2 of each part.